Hi, it's Michael Nauman, TMI Lab. So this is something that has come up. I haven't posted in a while. I've been really preoccupied. I got a lot of stuff going on here. But this is something that I've seen, and I haven't found many people talking about it online. I've seen a few people I have addressed the issue, but what I have here is, I figured this would be the perfect example of this. A Studio 90, we're going way back in time here, but this is a Fatar keybed right here. Fatar, as you guys probably all know, has been around since probably the mid 50s, I guess, 1955, 56, somewhere in there. They started making boards or keybeds for organs and synths and some of the older classic stuff. They even make their own line of MIDI controllers and stuff. So a lot of companies have used them. And just about every major synth manufacturer, even Roland, who has made a lot of their own keybeds, have utilized Fatar keybeds. But you name it, there's probably one out there. I think even the D50, D70, Roland, those were Fatar. So this is it's popular for a good reason. Italian made. They're really nice boards, made well to stand the test of time. One of the issues that comes after, as long as it's been like this is a good example because it's just such an old machine. But this is just a main board MIDI controller, one that I'm trying to get working 100% so I can use it in my little rig here. It's going to set up here on a stand that I made. And so this is one of the most common problems that I've seen on the Fatar. Now, there's a lot of different models, but I'm going way back, and this will apply to just about everything out there. If you have a weighted action keybed, you may get this. I'm sure you can hear that. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Squeaky, squeaky. Now listen to this. No squeak. Back to squeak. That's because that D right there, I actually already took care of that squeaky problem. So I'm going to show you where the problem is for these and why they do what they do. I'm kind of operating one-handed while I hold this, but for those of you who need this, let's address this one. Address that E right there. You remove the spring in the back. All you do is, I use forceps for this. Pull up and out, and there's your spring. Set that aside. You do not want to lose that bad boy. And you see the key is just kind of laying down. I also use my forceps to get the key off the rest of the way. Back here, there's little horizontal teeth running on this, so you might even hear it kind of comb through as you're removing it. There we go, so you can see, and I can use both hands. And I'm going to show you the way that I address this. And as per usual, I mean, I don't know everything. I've just been doing this a long time, and I've kind of come across an awful lot of different things and have my own way of doing a lot of things. And you may have something better. Please share if you do. Comment if you got some kind of neat little trick you want to share. I'm always open to learning better stuff, ways of doing stuff. So I'm going to push that in carefully while I'm lifting up on the back of the key. Now, this particular model of keybed is a little bit different than probably unless you have one of these or something from the same era, you're going to be a little bit different. There's one key thing, no pun intended there, about this particular board, and I'm going to show it to you in case you run across it. And if you've got an old Fatar keybed on something, you need to be very well aware of this. Some of you know what I'm going to say, and hopefully you can see this. This bed works with contacts, upper and lower contacts. That's how they determine, because it is a MIDI, it's actually determining the distance or the length of time it takes to go from one contact to the next to determine velocity. So it has 2 points of contact and a spring running through here. If you try to take that key off without addressing that spring first, you're going to bend your spring. Those are not fun to look for replacements for. So I have taken the spring off of this key. I've actually popped it off, so I know which one I'm looking at. It's this one right here. Let me see if that's on. Yeah, that's on camera. So I'm going to go ahead and take this spring off, and you do that from this side. The first thing I'll try to do is pull the spring with my forceps again, just a little bit, and if it doesn't want to slide over, then I abandon that approach and I put the forceps on both sides of it and I push over to the left, and that will help it start to free up and get out of there. And I really should have this setting down where I can get on that, but you don't want to bend this spring too far. You don't want to actually extend it in any way that's going to stretch it out. And sometimes you got to kind of hold that key, or that that piece of plastic, it's actually a nylon, to carefully pull it out without extending it. So it's free now, and the spring is right there, the end of the spring, and they're very easy to put back. While I have it upside down is when I'll take this out, just so I can kind of see things as they're going. But there's your key removed, nice and clean. No one got hurt. And I'm going to set this back down. I'm going to pick up the phone and show you guys what you need to know here. And again, this is just how I do it. Now, I've seen people that have made this particular repair, or this, what do you want to call it? It's not really broke, it's just squeaky. And they will use different products. Here's what I use. It's very important, I think. This is only my opinion. Silicone grease. You don't want a petroleum-based grease. It's plastic. You don't want to put petroleum-based stuff, in my opinion. And all you got to do to fix the squeaky, now here's your hammer action down here. So when that key depresses, it's pushing down this piece of felt, which is right here, and it causes that hammer to come up. Let me get my forceps and I'll show you the action. There we go. So it forces that to come up, and it's teeter-tottering there. So you have this weighted key feel, which is awesome. And you'll notice that there's no squeakiness going when I push that down. Right? It's nice and quiet. What's pushing that down is a piece of plastic. This one right here. And what happens is, I refer to this as drag and slip. So the plastic against the felt, that old worn felt, drag and slip, and it will vibrate as such. And therefore, it will make an audible sound, which in this case, I'm trying to grab my Q-tip. In this case, it happens to be a squeak. So what I do is I get some of this silicone grease, and I've seen people use different stuff, but this is what I like to use. You know what? I'm gonna hang on a second here. I'm gonna load up my Q-tip and show you the actual grease itself. There it is, clear silicone grease. And all we're going to do is go to this pad. I do two things. I put it on that pad, and I'll get a light in here and kind of show you once I get this applied. Let me go ahead and get it on there. There we go. And remember, I'm doing the E. The other thing I'll do is I'll take the Q-tip. So I have it on the pad right now. There's a lot on the pad there. Now I'm going to push down so I can get access down here and just kind of run that Q-tip around there. And I'm putting it on the metal part of the assembly that holds it, you know, the framework. And I just want to make sure that that's good and done up with that silicone grease. Put that aside real quick. And I'm not going to hook up the spring yet, but I am going to put the key in there and just show you the results. And hold that down. So there's a squeaky. That's the one we just did. No squeak at all, as good as new. So that's how you do that. If you want to get rid of the squeak, you just have to go in and do that. Here's the squeaky. Here's the one we just did. No squeak. The other thing that can happen is click. So if you have squeaky or click, it involves the felt that has just lived its life, you know. The click usually is from the felt that runs along the front here that the key itself will hit, and you'll hear that click, 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 and that's because the felt is kind of used up. But there's your, I did that one, no squeak. This one, no squeak. Haven't done that one yet. So that C is squeaking, D is not, E is not, F is, all right, my phone quit. So anyway, that's how you do it. So that times 88 is what you got in store for you if you come across one of these earlier models of Fatar keybeds. Now, the only thing different, well, not the only thing obviously, but the springs with the two contacts, that's something that's kind of unique to this line. But this is exactly the same. If you have a weighted Fatar keyboard, this is the issue for the squeaking, and it's easy to fix. It just takes time. So pour yourself a nice glass of Merlot. I prefer mine chilled. I know that's not what you're supposed to do, but hey, I'm unconventional that way. Throw in some weather report, maybe check Korea or something, you know, put yourself in the mood, and keep that board alive. So hopefully that's helped somebody out there that's dealing with the squeaky clickies. Again, the clickies are the felt strip running along the front of the key. The squeaky is simply where that plastic tongue that's just made to vibrate and make noise is rubbing against that felt that's in that depression and on that mechanism. A little dab of grease there will do you, and go ahead and get behind that against the wall of the metal that's right in front of that tongue. And that will solve your issue pretty much every time. I've done this operation a lot, and I never look forward to it because it's just so time consuming. But anyway, if you guys are helped by this, please give me a thumbs up so I know I'm in the right direction here, giving you what you need. And as promised, I will continue to post some repair videos on some of these classic synths. I also have some other stuff coming up. Some of the projects that I've done that are kind of different, unique. Magic beaded curtains and some Arduino stuff that I've done. So if you have a question about anything, certainly let me know in the comments, and I will continue to post. I am outfitting my studio, the home studio now, so I can continue on. I've got a couple of projects, film and TV, compositions I'm doing the music for, and all of that. So I've got 2 of them right now in queue that I need to get busy on. So I've been kind of changing things and yeah, setting things up to kind of go along with that. And by the way, when I said I'm a Roland fan, I don't know if I said it this video, but yeah, I love Roland, classic Roland. Most of my stuff is racked now, so I'm getting rid of all the keyboards. I have about 30 or so. Half of them need work, and I'm going to get rid of those probably. And I think I'm set up where I need to be to do what I need to do, and there's no need to go crazy over it. But anyway, if you have any questions, you have a particular board you're working on or a module or something that that you need a hand on, it wouldn't hurt to put it in the comments. I may have come across it. I have repaired literally hundreds of keyboards, various issues. I've even had to burn my own ROMs and stuff for them, and just about every facet of keeping these things alive I've done at some point. I've never thrown a board away and never will. I just can't, you know. So the ones that I can't repair, I just keep for parts, and yeah. And if you're looking for anything in particular, I may have it. You never know. So anyway, guys, if I'm giving you what you need, let me know. I will leave a link in the description for this silicone grease. You do that, you're helping me out, because I do have one of those Amazon thingies. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it makes Jeff Bezos cough up a few pennies for me when you order one. They're like $10 for 3 tubes of that. But and like I said, it's my opinion, subjective, but I think that you need a silicone grease when you're working with petroleum-based plastic. I mean, it just makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, you never know. You don't want some kind of weird relative of the blue goo, if you know what I mean. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post those. Any comments, let me know. Rock on.